Hey everyone, welcome back to another scrapbooking process video. Today I'm documenting something a little different, one of my houseplants that I've been trying really hard to make thrive. It's still looking a little sad, but you know what? I'm proud of keeping it alive, and that is worth celebrating. For this page, I'm diving into some mixed media techniques to create a really casual drippy look, including some fun ink drips all over my layout. I'm using the Happy Home kit and some add-ons to pull everything together. So I hope that you'll come along with me as I make this messy, splatty page. Right off the bat, I knew I wanted to use this green floral paper. It just stands out at me and I want to make sure I get it on a page, and this is a really great page to use it on. At this point, I'm thinking I might do a thirds page, like, or a half and half page. Then I finally came to the decision that I would use that floral background paper as a large mat, but a thicker mat than what I usually do because I really want lots of that green floral to show. So I am just playing around here with the proportions and having a look at you know how this craft background paper is going to work with that green floral. I think the two of them work really beautiful together. And I'm going to pick up on some of the white in the flowers, as well as the little gold specks that are in the flowers as well. I'm cutting down my paper. At first, I'm cutting it a little bit too big. So, but it's better to cut it too big than too small because you can always add more. So I ended up cutting it at 11 and 3/4 by 11 and 3/4, but I took off more so that it ends up being just under 11 by 11. Yeah, yeah, I meant 11 and a quarter by 11 and a quarter. Anyhow, it's got a full inch, so that gives me a half inch along each side. I'm gutting this paper because I love it so much, so I definitely want to be able to use more of that on another page. So that's why I just took out the center of that. And now I'm going to take this 11 by 11 piece of craft paper and I'm going to distress it with my tonic distress tool. And I'm going to go pretty heavy-handed on the distressing here because I want it to be curled up and shaggy on the edges. This tool does a really great job of making the edges really torn looking, but also breaking down those paper fibers so that it almost has a cottony kind of look to it. I just love the effect of that blade distresser. My original thought was that I would go around the outside edges with black thread to add some contrast, but I'm going to decide not to do that only because I was not feeling particularly motivated to rethread my bobbin. And I think I'd have to refill my bobbin because I only have a white one left. So that made my decision a little bit easier to just use marker as an outline instead. I am taking a couple of little places where the paper is just naturally curling a little bit more, and I'm emphasizing that and going with the natural curve of the paper. Just as I was distressing it, some parts got more distressed than others. That just helps it look more natural and uneven. If I were to try to do it myself, I might accidentally make it a little bit too symmetrical or something. Now, I am going to use some clear gesso on my background paper because I don't want my ink splatters. At this point, I don't know what I'm going to do with the ink. I just know I want to use my Liquitex ink. I pulled it out in white and in gold, but I don't want it to sink into the paper. So I am using a credit card, or a gift card actually, to spread my clear gesso around on my page to get it super thin. That helps it to dry really, really quickly. It's practically dry now. It feels a little damp, so I think I'm going to hit it with my heat. Yeah, there we go. Hitting it with my heat gun. Now you can see a little bit of the marks, like the paper reflects the light a little bit differently. This is a very matte product. It actually gives your paper quite a bit of tooth. So if you were painting on top of it or whatever, it's a perfect surface. I'm going to be using this Liquitex inks. These are some of my favorite mixed media products. It's like paint, but it's much, much more liquidy. Now, I didn't quite shake it up enough, so my very first little amount of it was actually thicker, so I added a little bit more. And I'm just using the smooshing technique or the packaging technique. It's known as both in the scrapbooking world. And I am just putting a big hunk of white in the center. And then I just held my dropper. These come with droppers right in them. And I held it up high and just let the splats drop all over the place on the outside of where that big blob of white is added to the page. Using the packaging technique is way easier than using a paintbrush because it's easy to get a nice organic random look, no brush strokes, and it's always going to look natural and random and casual. I do find that the using the gesso, the clear gesso on the background gives this page a bit of a painterly look, like you can see the swatches of gesso on the back, especially when the layout is in certain lights. And with these really bright overhead lights, you can see it quite a lot in the video. But when I look at it right now from where I'm sitting, it's right in front of me, I can't see any of that at all. But even if I could see it, I don't really mind it. So I did dry that, and now I am going to add some gold. I actually don't like how adding this gold to the, I feel like most of it's going to be covered by the photo anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But note to self that I don't really love how that looks. My plan was to go back and cover that up again with more white, but it turns out my photo and layers cover most of it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So I did the exact same thing with the gold ink. And this gold ink is one of my very favorite gold products because it just is so shiny and beautiful. So I'm going to put that aside, and I actually made a card, and I'm not going to show you the whole process of this card because it was a lot of it was just me figuring out how to use these little acetate shaker card cover things that I got. It's from Honeybee. I bought it from a local scrapbooking store, and I just wanted to see how it would look using it as like a background. I ended up using it as a background. So I've got a piece of pattern paper in there and a whole lot of sequins from our Joy kit from last year. And that sequin mix was one of my very favorite, and we had a bunch of it left over. So that's what you see off to the side there. I'm going to just add some embellishments from the Joy kit. And I was going to a party the night that I was doing this. So I wanted to bring the host a little something to thank her for hosting us. So I did all that while this was drying. And once that was done, this was nice and dry. And I'm going to start by attaching my background. Now, I said nice and dry. It is leaving little bits of gold every here and there, but it's mostly dry. That Liquitex ink, it's very liquid, so it does take a little while to dry. Now here's where I decide I don't want to figure out how to rethread my bobbin, so I'm just going to go back and forth with my Sharpie pen and add those wonky, very casual doodly lines around the outside edges instead of doodly stitches. Now this floral is really gorgeous, and I want to get some of it on this page, and I love the idea of combining these two florals. So you've got that floral on the outside and then a really different floral here on the inside. But in order to make this work, I need to really have a very small amount of the second floral showing. So obviously my photo is going to cover up a pretty big chunk of it, but then also I have another chunk of this pink paper. And that one, and I'm just outlining them to make them all be kind of pulled together and to also just add a little bit of extra detail on these layers. There's, as opposed to my last couple of layouts that had a lot of pattern paper layered all together, this one is just going to have these two little pieces. And it's a bit of a fooler method where it looks like that's one piece of pink paper across the whole back of the photo, but it's really a strip on one side and a strip on the other side. If you look really closely, you might notice that they're two different lengths, but if you don't, you won't even notice that. And it does kind of trick the brain into thinking it's one piece of paper extending the whole way. I have another plant here, plant sticker that I'm putting in. And so I just added a little phrase sticker across the bottom to make it look grounded so it's not just a potted plant floating out in the middle of my layers. I added that adorable little side table. That's one of my favorite stickers in the whole set, in the whole kit, really. And I thought about balancing it off with another household item on the other side, but I actually really love what it brings all by itself as almost like a hero element on my page. So something that is a one of a kind item that just grabs your attention. I do like the idea of using repetition on my page, but the more you use repetition, the more bold something can be that stands alone. And so that's the idea that I'm going with here. That sticker in and of itself, I mean, it's flat, it doesn't have a whole lot of embellishment, like of dimension or anything like that. But because it's the only one of its type on the page, it really does stand out at you. I'm just adding a couple of little stickers here to fill up some of that pink space. Thought about adding a, a wax seal here. These came in the embellishment add-on. No, I think they came in the main kit. And that would have added something, but I think it would have actually taken away from the fact that I have that little side table sticker as the only kind of one of a kind embellishment. Now, there are other stickers from that same sticker sheet, so I'm not saying it's the only sticker, but it's the only thing that looks like that, and it's bigger than the other things as well. So, yeah, that's what I mean by it kind of stands out on its own. I added a couple of little extra drops of gold just to provide a little bit more balance on my background. One of the strips, one of the little splots of gold got dabbed by mistake, and some of the gold was missing from the center of it. So I just filled it in there, and then I added another drip towards the bottom. And again, this is the second time in a row that I wasn't really thinking at all about where my title would go until the very end. And then I thought, well, it fits pretty nice here. And I did want to say more than just fig. So I knew that I had these wood grain tile letter stickers from the Cheerful kit, which was our kit that came out in November. It did sell out, but I think we have a couple of the embellishment add-ons left. We might, don't quote me on that. But anyhow, I actually didn't end up getting that kit, but I did have the embellishment add-on. So this was in the embellishment add-on. These are Chamel stickers. They're actually not Christmas stickers, but they worked really well with the kit. So they were in the embellishment add-on. And I think that these letter stickers just work perfectly because I wanted the title to be longer. I wanted it to be Sad Little Fiddle Leaf Fig, but I didn't want it to take up a whole lot of space on my page. So using these smaller tile letter stickers keeps it from becoming a huge title dominant title. And it also, because they've got a craft kind of a color to them, they're wood grain, they really do blend in with the background a little bit. Like you can definitely see that they're there, but they don't add a whole lot of contrast to the page, which is exactly what I was looking for. I really wanted most of the items on this page to be kind of center around where the photo is. I added that puffy sticker because it was just the perfect height. It's exactly the same size as those Simple Story foam letter stickers that I used. So that just does a good job of finishing off the title a little bit and making it look enclosed and like it belongs. And then I just added some sequins from our confetti mix. And this confetti mix includes some golds, some greens, and as Harmony says, when confetti is an option, why would no be the answer, or something like that. So, and she's absolutely right. When in doubt, always use confetti because it's perfect. It's just a perfect little extra element and it adds some shine and sparkle to your page. Even if they're not particularly iridescent or shiny, because they're a plastic material, they tend to grab the light. Even the matte ones tend to grab the light and provide just a little bit of extra dimension and texture to your page. So I'm just going to use my pickup stick and my Art Glitter Designer Dries Clear Glue that I always forget the name of. I always bungle the name of that one, but it is, I'm going to pick it up and say it to you. It is Art Glitter Designer Adhesive Dries Clear. And here is the close-up video of this, and the gold splot was not quite dry yet, but that is how it looks. Now, before we jump into the final photos, I want to give a quick shout out to my amazing Patreon supporters. These folks who will pop up on your screen in just a few minutes, they truly do help make this channel happen. And so I'm so grateful for each and every one of them. Tiaras get early ad free access to all of my process videos, plus real time unedited versions, often in the form of live streams of all of my process videos as well. They get exclusive behind the scenes content from my craft room and my process, as well as sneak peeks into the Kit Club. A big thank you to you also for watching all the way to the end. I am again Mercy Tiara, and I enjoy sharing my full creative process with you, including all of the little decisions, lessons, and even mistakes learned along the way. I would love to hear from you about whether you document these sorts of stories. So things like a sad little house plant that you're trying really hard to keep alive. Have you ever scrapbooked anything like that? Please leave me a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Here are some of the places that you can find me on the internet. Our Kit Club website is up there. My Patreon is there. All of those things are always linked in the information section below. And I really appreciate any likes or comments, or if you want to subscribe to see more from me, please do so. I really appreciate your support. Take care, and thanks so much for watching. Have a really great scrappy week.